Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be giving you an update on a big time cold blast expected for the eastern two-thirds of the country and an update on the overall US forecast and what we can expect through this upcoming week. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. Let's get right into it. So, we are back. It is Monday. New week to talk about some really interesting weather. Not so much on the tropics as last week was focused on. This week more on that fall into winter and that wintry stuff we're already starting to see hints of take place in the eastern US. So if you do like more of this content, make sure to let me know. And since the tropics are dying down, since cross country season is over, it is full pedal to the metal in the next few months. So let's start off with what we usually do, National Weather Service alerts and indices. Scroll down just a little bit. Generally not too active. I mean, in the east we have, or in the west coast, across portions of southern Oregon and northern portions of California, we have some light wind advisories and hazardous weather outlook. So high wind warnings, wind advisories, some gale warnings, because we do have a little system off to the west, which is kind of bringing some really gusty winds and some precipitation, as you can see by these localized flood watches and warnings as well. Further down, kind of near the San Diego area, some dense fog advisories or air quality alerts. And then up into Nebraska, you have some red flag warnings and these special weather statements up into South Dakota, and into portions of Wyoming are also characterized by fire indices. And then in the northeast, we just have a bunch of wind advisories is what we're looking at. The portions of whole state of Rhode Island, eastern Mass, southern New Hampshire, and the whole state of Maine. And then portions along upstate New York, including Buffalo, Rochester, Waterport, etc. So those are your alerts currently on the map. Let's start off with what we can expect going into this week, and it's gonna be very interesting. Right now we have a little disturbance kind of passing well off the coast of the east. We were watching this as it could hook up with some of the northern energy and bring a bigger substantial storm. However, it's just a little bit too far south and east, and this northern connection isn't really working out. With that being said, it is bringing some showers through portions of New England, southern New England, likely even some higher elevation snow in portions of the Adirondacks, which we actually saw Halloween night. So as we continue, you can see as that cold return flow kind of gets in, you see some snow in the slopes. It'll start to ski season. After that, you get another little system, almost like a clipper system. This kind of comes through, brings an even heftier snow for portions of Maine, New Hampshire, almost the whole state of Vermont, New York. So this is going to be very interesting. Maybe even some sneaks into the Poconos. Again, it's going to get really cold. We're going to start getting these systems. I mean, so far, already looks more northern stream dominated. You had that one storm. There's a clipper that just went. Now another one, even from the north. So it's something we're going to have to keep watching. Maybe it's a teaser for winter for clipper storms, at least getting into later this month and into December. Here's another one you get. This one's a little more north. It kind of connects with some Gulf Stream energy, but brings mainly just a warm, more sweeping rain form. Not warm, but not like cold. Like warmer than average temperatures. And just like a chilly rain, I would say, since it is November, for portions from anywhere from the Gulf Coast up through Maine. And then behind that, another little storm. This northern piece energy combined with some southern piece energy. Maybe this gets into portions of the Midwest, brings some snow. Maybe Chicago, watch out, Michigan. Look at that cold air behind that. This is really like eye-opening. This cold air behind it is just super strong. This is a relatively small system, yet it's yanking down some big time cold air. Gets bigger as it gets further into the northeast, New England, especially into Canada. Mainly brings rain, but then what you do have is return flow. So this low ends out. You got this big time cold blast. 540 line well into the deep south, and then what you have is a northwest flow event. Okay, you got winds coming from the northwest. Okay, colder air overlaps the warmer lakes, and so you get precipitation forming along much of the lake effect snow areas, Michigan, UP, Chicago, portions of Ohio, like Cleveland, Erie, Buffalo, Rochester, Waterport, through these areas, and it obviously catches up in through the mountains with any of the leftover storm energy that gets caught up in the mountains. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, I'm going to kind of dig deeper into that, but you get some very, very, very cold temperatures. We can just take a little look at that. You got freezing line all the way down, possibly reaching portions of Atlanta all the way through, and that brings really, really cold temperatures for those areas. Okay, let's go back to the forecast. So that makes its way through. This is early next week, so like this time next week, some more stuff comes through, then you get a little bit of a moderation period, and who knows what happens after that. I do think after that big cold shot, we'll enter our moderation period, but then we get a more sustained colder kind of pattern flip through late November and into December. So let's talk a little bit more about that. So here's your cooler air for the east. Get another little shot late this week, not the big one, the one behind it. There you have it. Okay, this is November 11th. These I don't know, kind of indigo or very, very, very light pinkish purple colors represent temperatures almost 15 degrees below average, which is really, really cold. This comes in through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tries to linger with some return flow through the rest of the week, which it definitely could be a cold week next week, and then kind of starts to warm back and moderate up through the end of the run. This is the Euro ensemble, so pretty reliable kind of couple through here. With those hazardous temperatures, the Climate Prediction Center has highlighted a moderate risk for areas of the southeast through portions of the mid-Atlantic, including D.C., Baltimore, Wilmington, Philadelphia, that area, Atlanta, portions of Charlotte, Columbia, what else? Richmond, all these areas. I think even Roanoke, all these areas likely in some moderate risk, maybe in through Birmingham. And then outside a slight risk right after that. So it's going to be, or right outside of that risk. So it's going to be a very, very interesting and cold, at least start to the week for next week. We'll see if it holds to the rest before moderation period. Let's talk about that kind of northwest flow event. Euro has it really interesting, okay? So we'll skip way ahead. This brings down some cooler air, nothing too insane, maybe some snow for higher elevations, rain for other areas, mainly for New England. There's your little kind of warmer sector that brings some showers, and then that sets up the stage for this cooler one. So Euro is a little different. It brings that main low kind of north and kind of gets another little mini disturbance getting going through portions of the Ohio Valley. And you see it kind of take shape. And this is what, 1 p.m. November 10th. You got snow breaking out for much of Ohio, northern Pennsylvania, even areas along the 95. This rain could actually be snow. Matter of fact, let's take a sounding. Kind of like we can take one in Philly. Okay, let's take a look at the sounding. So it's very warm at the surface, 44. Not warm, but warmer, well over the freezing mark for any snow. But if you take a look at the 850s, we are well below freezing, and we don't cross freezing until about 9:25. So that's something where we could watch. Okay, we'll keep progressing through, maybe get some white rain grapple, maybe even close to 95. Show you what the Euro shows, but it's a little kind of short wave that comes through, and it'll sweep through. We'll actually see that energy, and that's what's going to set up that northwest flow event, that lake effect snow, that mountain snow, maybe some flakes getting closer to the 95. I do think that's really possible. There you have it. There's your short wave. Very, very strong. If it goes negative, watch out. So still a little far out, but definitely could be pretty interesting. And I mean, there you have it. I mean, 1 a.m. here, you just got snow signals breaking up from D.C., Baltimore, through Philadelphia, almost through New York City, even Boston getting into some dynamic type snow. I'm not saying this will happen, but I'm saying some flakes could make it down even closer to the 95, at least the northwest suburbs, before that cold shot goes. And then maybe something else behind it, rotating around that shore of energy. Multiple little disturbances. Here, I'll try to highlight it on that shortwave map. You will have multiple little disturbances kind of riding across the shortwave and diving through, and so some could hook up with some snows closer to 95. We'll have to watch out. Definitely really, really early. Nothing accumulating, but maybe some first festive flakes of the season. So I hope you enjoyed. That's about it. Short video, just talking about the rest of this week and the main highlights coming into kind of the medium term, just over long term. If you do enjoy this video, again, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with your friends. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.